Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Sunday, December the 6th, 2020. It is 2:06 p.m. California time, which is also Washington State time. I am Dharma Master Thich sending my warmest greetings to all Vietnamese compatriots in the country and abroad. I have this live stream because some of my disciples has questions after listening to my previous live stream sessions. They have sent emails to ask me their questions. I apologize for not answering these emails that are not related to the U.S. election at this time. I will answer emails that are related to the presidential election first because they are most urgent. I sincerely apologize to all of my Buddhist followers. For now, I will focus on questions that are related to the rally on December 12th, 2020. I invite all my fellow Buddhist followers in Vietnam and overseas to follow. Dear Venerable Thich Thong, we are some Buddhist followers in the United States. I sent this email to ask for your explanation of the differences between the rallies of President Trump on December the 5th in Georgia and December the 12th in Washington, D.C. What is the benefit of these rallies? We are a group of Buddhist followers in the United States. We wish you great health and would like to hear your comments regarding this matter. We wish you safety through the pandemic, and we love to meet you again in the near future when everything has reopened so that we can attend more of your Buddhist assemblies in the Amitat village of the Chuatamnguyen temple system. Respectfully yours. This email is from a group of Buddhist followers in the United States. They did not say which state are they from. They emailed asking for the benefits of the rally on December the 12th and what is the difference between this rally and the rally on December the 5th. This is the first question I will answer. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see, the United States Constitution is very complex. I have been watching all the speeches given by President Trump very carefully so I can have an accurate assessment for the 2020 presidential election. At first, I predicted that the result of the presidential election will be determined by the Electoral College if all the battle states can't clarify nor certify the voting results due to the voting fraud and unsettled legal matter. Based on the United States Constitution, each state will appoint one elector to cast the final ballot. As you know, roughly a month ago, I had said in one of my live streams that the Republican Party had 26 governors. With 26 Republican governors, President Trump will win if the presidential election settles with the electoral college votes because all the popular votes on November 3rd will have to be discarded due to fraud. However, as time unfolds, and based on President Trump's information, I notice that there are many Republican states, Republican governors, and Republican senators who still stab the back of President Trump from behind. For example, the governor of Georgia is a Republican, but he threw President Trump under the bush without any hesitation. And Arizona, perhaps because they are under terror threats from Democrats. Perhaps the governor's wife and children are under threat. As you can see, the Democrats has been threatening the wives and children of these witnesses, poll watchers, and other witnesses. These Republican governors will turn their backs so that they can vote for Democrats. So I listened to President Trump's speech very carefully. I think President Trump might take the path of martial law. Why would he do that? Because that is the way taken by President Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War between the North and the South of the United States. During that time, the Democrats also cheated in voting, and President Lincoln had to issue the martial law. The martial law will halt all government agency, including the local court. Under the martial law, the president has full control. The only agency that can oversee the actions of the president is the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court can only observe the President of the United States to ensure he follows what the U.S. Constitution stipulates. In order to issue the martial law, President Trump must base on the support of the Americans on December 12th, 2020. So once again, I answer this group of Buddhist followers in the United States like this. As a Vietnamese American who have lived here for 45 years, and those who spend more than half of their lives in the United States, in addition to protecting the U.S. Constitution, we need to contribute a hand to protect the Vietnamese homeland from Chinese communist invasion. We have to support the rally on December the 12th because U.S. President Trump and his advisory group will base on the number of supporters to determine the next step. That is, if over 2 million will attend the rally on Washington, D.C., although the coronavirus is spreading again. Once the martial law is issued, all agencies of the U.S. administration have stopped, and the president will have full authority to use the law of the military to arrest all traitors who are associated with the Chinese communists and foreign enemies to attack the U.S. Constitution. So again, I foresee the importance of the rally on December 12th, 2020 in Washington, D.C. because it will make President Trump decide whether to use the martial law or not. The House of Representatives, the Congress, and all the governor's authorities will be removed during this period. I want to remind you that in 2018, President Trump rebuilt the prison in Guatemala, which is an area near Cuba, but it was leased by the United States. These prisons were built like a fortress and very quickly. No one knew the purpose of these prisons. Recently, the independent media said that President Trump has foreseen clearly the process of draining the swamp will imprison many traitors. Prior to this construction, under the Bush administration, the original prisoners were used to hold the aliquota. President Trump has known the voting fraud since 2016. As a matter of fact, the former Vice President Biden, during his campaign, he slipped and confirmed that former President Obama had a very good fraud scheme. A couple days ago, I had a live stream session regarding the Democrats cheating. The Democrats have millions of members, governors, senators, and congressmen. We can't say that they are all cheaters. Just like when our money was stolen in the house, we can't assume all family members are the culprit. We need to investigate to see who was in charge of stealing that money. Now that you see the Dominion machine were used to cheat upon counting ballots. Everyone knows that the postal system has been receiving money from the Democrats to swap the votes, to redate the ballot for fraud. Everyone knows that the dead and the non-US citizens also voted. But who is behind these scenes? We can't just say that the whole Democratic Party was behind it because it is too vague. According to my judgment, it is Obama. Because he is the only president who, after the end of his term, does not enjoy peace of mind. Instead, he runs around and pulls strings here and there, everywhere. Yesterday, many people told me that I was being subjective, pointing my finger at Obama. There are many puppet masters, such as Hillary Clinton, as well as many deep state tycoons. I will be more elaborate before I give a definitive answer on the upcoming rally, December the 12th. When Bill Clinton became US President, the photo of his love life and his wedding with Hillary was posted online by the press. His picture as a student who studied in college and his wife's picture was also posted on the internet. The media exploited all the private lives of many presidents and posted them on the web. Just like our incumbent president. Photos of him when he was a little boy, a student, love affairs with previous wives and current wife was the first, which the first lady was also made being transparent. So were President Nixon and so were President Kennedy. However, no one knows the wedding of Obama and his wife. President Obama's identity is still Factor X, a big question mark. An independent media investigation was halted. All the investigators were intimidated, and in the end, no one dared to proceed. No one knows about Obama's background and his activities. Everyone knows his birth certificate in Hawaii was a fake. His half-brother also agreed to go to America to testify in court. Did you know why all the newspaper and the media did not find much? All the mainstream media like CNN and NBC turned their back away because the deep state tycoons spent so much money for them to keep their mouths shut. As you know, the deep state tycoons wanted to use Obama during 2008 to 2016 to implement some of their policies and benefit them through doing business with the Chinese communists. I cannot say their names because they are very powerful. Even President Trump is also afraid of them, let alone me. I just say that they took advantage of a senator with 4 years' experience in the U.S. Congress who has an unknown background. The background of his wife, his children, his past, and his schooling are just number X. It is an unknown number that no media network dares to venture. As you can see, all the news regarding the legal matters and voting fraud from Attorney Powell and Giuliani were also not posted by the mainstream media. These left-hand media never talked about anything in the interest of President Trump. Everything that benefits President Trump were blocked by Facebook, Twitter, and Google. Many people called me to ask the reason I did not get tagged while talking about Obama and Joe Biden, while the US president and senators were tagged. Well, I haven't been tagged because of the blessing from God. Perhaps Dharma protects me from the media forgetting about me because they wouldn't ignore me. Do you understand that? First, President Trump will invalidate Section 230 because this is a protection shield of the media when they block public opinion. Once Section 230 is no longer valid, these media giants like Google and Facebook will be sued by millions of Americans. For every lawsuit, they will spend millions of dollars hiring lawyers. In the end, they can't survive if Section 230 is lifted. Once again, President Trump will weigh the supports on December the 12th so that he can decide to go to martial law when necessary. We can Google about martial law and the history of the Civil War between the North and the South. During that time, President Abraham Lincoln also faced the voting fraud by democracy. Then the legal battle dragged on. I did say in the past that on December the 3rd, if any state doesn't clarify the voting results, then the popular ballot will be discarded. It is already December the 6th, and the legal battles still have not settled. However, the Electoral College can't no longer replace the popular votes on November the 3rd. That is, on December the 14th, each state will elect a representative to vote. Normally, that would be the governor of that state. According to President Trump's speech, there are many Republican governors of the 26 Republican states stabbing him from the back. The reason for this is that they are accepting bribery and are being intimidated by terrorist force of the Democrats. If President Trump still approaches this path, I can't be sure he will win. With the current situation, I think martial law is the only way. Many senator officers in the defense ministry want President Trump to use martial law. When martial law is enforced, the Supreme Court can't no longer decide which party wins and which party will lose. At that time, President Trump will have total control. He will send the army to capture all the treason traitor, those accepting money from the Chinese communists to disrupt the U.S. government. They will be arrested and brought to the military court. Now, you see why attorney Sidney Powell announced that she has military lawyers a few weeks ago. On that day, she will be the military court to defend millions of Americans. So the rally on December the 12th will help President Trump to decide whether he should use the martial law or not. If he has over 2 million Americans attending the rally, he surely will go that path to win the voting fraud. The Electoral College of 50 states is questionable, even though there are now 26 Republican states, because some of the Republicans stood against President Trump. Those deep state tycoons are manipulating the U.S. Constitution. They took advantage of a black senator. You don't have to be born in the U.S. to run for senator or congressman. But he used a fake birth certificate to run for the U.S. president. These tycoons spend hundreds of millions of dollars to own these voting fraud machines. They also use the color of Obama to get the vote from African American communities. At that time, they ran their campaign with an ideology that the U.S. must have an African American president. Next, their plan was to have a female president in the U.S., which was Hillary Clinton in 2016. Fortunately, these tycoons did not win in 2016. Otherwise, the United States will be in a very bad situation. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I call on my disciples in particular and into all Vietnamese Americans in general, those who have the financial abilities and patriotism to go to Washington, D.C. on December the 12th. Many disciples of mine called to inform me that they will go, but going as a small group is very sporadic. Let's say there will be 1,000 to 2,000 Vietnamese going to the rally. However, if you immerse it in the 2 million supporters, it will be like a grain of sand in the desert, and no one knows who we are. So one of my disciples, Mr. Vuong and his family will give up their personal time and efforts to go to Washington, D.C. on December the 10th. They will bring many banners, flags of the Republic of Vietnam and the United States to support President Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, I call you to contact Mr. Vuong, and his phone number is 916-873-4750. Buddhist followers in Washington, D.C. vicinity, such as Thich, and other disciples, should contact Mr. Vuong. And his phone number, once again, is 916-873-4750. And you should all gather at a certain place. If you don't have the flags of the Republic of Vietnam, U.S. flags or banners to support President Trump, Mr. Vuong will provide you at courtesy. We cannot say hundreds and thousands of Vietnamese will fly to the rally because of financial and pandemic problems. It is hard to show our spirit with 2,000 people scattered into the groups of 2 to 3 million Americans. Mr. Vuong will be there on December 10th to prepare for the rally. You should contact Mr. Vuong to get the flags and banners. He told me that he's ready and he has packed 4 to 5 boxes of flags and banners. He called me to support patriotism for a final battle between righteousness and evil, between Republican and Democrats. We should unite together. We stand together as a group to raise the flag of the United States, the flag of the Republic of Vietnam, and banners to support President Trump. Mr. Vuong had been preparing for a whole month to do this. Once again, my disciples and other Vietnamese, please contact Mr. Vuong at 916-873-4750. We should gather at the same place on the same street so that when President Trump gives the appreciation speech to those who came to support him, he will see our Vietnamese community gathering in one place to raise banners, to advocate for righteousness, and to thank President Trump for his hard work and for him fighting for the American people, including the Vietnamese people. Respectfully greeting and wishing you success on your trip to the rally on December the 12th, because it is the last battle for the president to decide whether to execute the martial law or not. We must stand in line until President Trump wins.